All right, everybody. It's Kyle T. Mosley of the Black Sports Insiders and HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated. I'm here with coaches Johnny Cole and Darryl Steward is on the line. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, Mr. Moses. How about you, Coach Johnny J.C. Cole?
And Coach
What's going
Cole.
on, man? How you doing, man? Look. You see, I got my referee shirt on today. I wore this specifically because I'm about to referee this thing, man. We got to get a hold to this thing because it don't look right and it's not good.
All right. Now, if you guys don't know, Coach is on because he wants to talk about what happened this weekend with college football. You know, we have had four incidences, and probably it shouldn't have been that way. We've had four incidences of brawls, post game brawls, and that's happened in less than 1 week's time. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that, of course, and we're going to recap some of the goings ins and goings out of what happened with the conference championships, as well as those who clinched the berths into the championship game in the SWAC, and as well as the new kings of the MEAC out in South Carolina State. So, Coach Cole, let's kind of kick it off with talking about the CIAA championship first. You had Virginia State, Virginia Union. I know you were keen on Virginia State being the ones that possibly won, but Virginia Union is the one who, back-to-back years now, they are taking home the championship.
Well, experience is always overthrow and give you that edge. And Virginia Union being there last year, having probably same players, same coach, probably gave them an edge over Virginia State being there for the first time. One thing I know about championship games and being in them myself is the team that make the less mistakes win. And so in that case, Virginia Union was the winner of the CIAA.
Yeah, Virginia Union. I would say I had a feeling, and I kept on telling you guys that they learned a little bit about themselves and what they needed to do to prepare in winning that game against the Trojans. And congratulations to Dr. Alvin Parker. Those guys did a tremendous job, 17-14 over Virginia State. Coach Stewart, what's your thoughts about what happened in CIAA?
Yeah, it was a big win for Virginia. I had Virginia State to win, but Virginia Union pulled it out, and looking forward to great things out of them in the future. That's an up and coming program.
Yeah, definitely is an up and coming program. But when you have success, Coach Cole, sometimes people like to kind of pluck you from those situations, or more opportunities come your way. You think Alvin Parker is in that position right now?
Well, without a doubt. I mean, that's one thing about coaching this game as well as playing is you're a competitor. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. And everybody right now, everybody marks the NBA player to Michael Jordan. They don't mark it to the worst player in the league. It's always the best. And it's the same thing in team sports. At one time, everybody wanted to be the New England Patriots. Now don't swerve it over to the Kansas City Chiefs. So, that's this game. That's why you in a competitive sport. To be the best, you got to beat the best, and you got to find out what they're doing that you're not doing.
Yeah, definitely. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And guys, we want to hear from you. If you're listening to us on YouTube or even on Facebook, put in the chat, put in some of your questions for Coach Cole as well as Coach Stewart. We want to hear from you guys and what your thoughts on what happened in championship Saturday this past week. Now, let's turn our attention to the SIAC. Coach, you called it. Miles College. They came down and they whooped up on Clark Atlanta. I know your brother is over there over at Clark, but you had to call it as a professional, and you said Miles was going to be the winner. What happened? You were there front and center.
Well, from said go, Miles College was, the best team that day. They have a great coach staff, which I talked about last week. The team, had coming off of a great winning season last year. They returned a lot of players. And they actually played at home as well. So they had a lot of things going with them, a lot of momentum going with them. Clark was coming for the first time, showing up at the dance, with a bow tie, and everybody else wasn't wearing nothing but collar shirts. So, the great thing about Clark is they have their best winning season in 50 years. So I think it was a win-win. Nobody expected an 0-10 team or a 1-20 team. Let's get that straight. To go from that to the championship game. So my hat goes off to Teddy Keaton and Clark, as well as Coach Sam Shade. That, hey man, they had Clark's number. They got 9 turnovers. That's unheard of. And I told you,
9 turnovers.
People that win to championship games, it usually is the person who makes the less mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. There was an old stat that Sean Payton used to say when I was covering the Saints. He said, if you win the turnover battle, 80% of the time, you're going to win the game. 80% of the time. And that exponentially, if you have 9 turnovers, man. So that was outstanding. Coach Stewart, talk about your thoughts about Miles as well as Clark.
Well, when you look at these two teams and the way they match up, clearly Miles is the favorite. I would just really have to applaud Clark and their staff, LC and those guys over there, Coach Keaton, for the job that they done, man, because Clark hadn't been there in a while, I believe over a decade, and that's a long time. So, just getting those kids schematically to get used to being in a championship game or thinking like a championship player, it's a lot that goes into going into these games. And so clearly, Coach Sam Shade has been there before. He's done it on a high school level. Now he's carried over onto the collegiate level. And, you look for great things out of Clark for the near future, out of both of the programs. The recruiting is probably going to be at an all-time high. And if I'm not mistaken, and Coach Cole can help me out, I believe Clark is one of the teams that the MEAC is targeting, Clark, Morehouse, and Tennessee State to try to move to the MEAC, if I'm not mistaken, if he can help me out on that.
There's some talking, because the MEAC definitely want to get back to a 10 to 12 team. So they're looking for some teams. They're still thinking about the other teams that got out. So, right now that's on the table, but it's nothing concrete.
Yeah. Let's hear from Sam Shade ourselves and what he had to say.
Well, it's important for our team as a whole, for our program, just to show that the hard work that the players have been putting in, that it does pay off. And the adversity we've been through the last few years, and even early in the season, being 0-2, just showing that you can overcome the adversity if you just lock in, focus, and keep working.
All right. Coach, he said, if you just focus and lock in, you could be able to overcome adversity. What's your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, that's when you're talking about, a team concept. That's when you're talking about, the discipline. All that goes into being successful.
Definitely. And Coach Stewart, think about this. They were 0-2 at the beginning of the season, and to go on that stretch and that run that they were able to put it down and get to the championship game and win it. Sam Shade, we just spoke about Alvin Parker. Sam Shade, could he be one of those guys on the move?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's on a lot of people's radar along with the cold-blooded brothers. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen down there at Alabama State. I've been hearing rumors, will they get a coordinator or will they go in a different direction? And so definitely, man, I just think right now we have to look at selling our institutions. And it's too many, like Coach Cole said, it's too many good coaches not coaching. And then when you look at the guys, and this is not a knock at guys that are coaching, but the reason why they're failing it's because they're going into these jobs, learning on the job. And I tell these guys all the time, and we say it on the show, we know, don't skip the process. They look at guys like the Cole brothers. They look at guys like Tennis Beard. They look at guys like Milton Spears, and they say, well, wow, they won a championship. But these guys have went through the process. The guys that are failing have not gone through the process. And that's all we're saying, Kyle. Go through the process and then pick it back on being a head coach. But when you skip that process, these are the sorts of things that happen.
What's your thoughts about his comments there, Coach Cole?
Well, without a doubt, where we are in our conferences is, when you look at the conference, it's good for the fan base, because people said, oh, man, it's a lot of parity. It's a lot of parity. But when you look at it from a coach's standpoint of view, you see the mistakes. You see, the immaturity, not just from the assistant coaches, but from the head coaches as well. And when you have that, then you don't have good football. And you make blatant mistakes. Your football team is not ready. Your football team is losing to an 0-10 team. You know what I mean? And I understand that people got to be head coaches, but like Coach Steward was saying, it's a process that you go through. You come in as a student coach. Some of us come in as GAs, and then you move into being an assistant coach. We always get caught up on these tags. Oh man, hire young coaches. But I'm here to say, I interviewed a 29 years old coach, and even back then, I said I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? A head coaching job is for an older man. It's almost, he's been there, he's seen it, he has contacts, especially, on the HBCU rim. We got to put a good product out on.
All right. Coach?
I can't hear Coach Cole.
All right. Yeah, Coach Cole was basically just saying it's a older man who's been through the trials and tribulations of the coaching world that you'll find the success. And that's why you saw some of the issues early on with some of these first year or first time coaches as well. There's a lot of first time head coaches that have run through the buzzsaw, so to speak. Look, here's my take as well. I heard it all when Coach Prime came to HBCU and he had the tremendous success over at Jackson State. Everybody wanted an NFL guy. Remember that, Coach Cole? Everybody wanted an NFL guy. Give me an NFL guy.
Look at Tennessee State. The school is broke now for playing the coaching staff.
Wow. Is that what's going on? Part of what's going on? I know they had other financial mismanagement in other areas as well.
Yes.
Okay. So, but they finally got a winner, right? 8-3, Tennessee State Tigers. That's what they've been wanting, right?
Well, they got to win this week, I think. Oh no, are they 8-3?
They're 8-3. Yeah. So, Coach, any last thoughts on this topic as far as going through the trials as a young coach and being able to find success later?
Yeah, if you don't do it the right way and what Coach Cole and myself are talking about, you're going to go through that. Clearly, I just got the air listening to the FAMU family. They're in disarray right now. FAMU is in disarray. They lost to a team that hadn't won a game in 15, 16 tries. If it was myself, if it was Coach Cole that had lost, they would have tried to fire us. And this is what I'm talking about. And this is not a knock at Coach Cozy, but I mean, you got to ask yourself, how does a team that's picked to win the national championship lose to a team that's on a 15, 16 game losing streak? That's not like any given day any team can get beat. That's coaching. Let's just put it out there, Kyle. That's coaching. I mean, it's no mistake in that. I think, coaches make mistakes, but I just don't think right now that if FAMU loses to Bethune-Cookman this weekend, I think they're in trouble. I really do. And this, like I said, it's not a knock at Coach Coles. You had some great qualified candidates for that job. And I don't know, man. I just think sometimes when the presidents look and they say, well, where do we mess up? And, some of these schools are not even interviewing. That's what's surprising to me. That is very alarming that you're not interviewing for a coach and you're dealing with young people's lives. I want to ask Coach Cole to piggyback on that. Just talk about that because we have too many programs that are struggling.
Well, hold on. Before Coach goes into that, we'll be back. We got to pay some bills. So guys, keep on following us on the Coaches Speak. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Wow. Hey, Jay, this project might need a bit of zhuzhing. Holla back, Warren.
Please let me know your thoughts. Best regards, Warren.
I am genius.
Come to McDonald's and treat yourself to the Grandma McFlurry today.
So I trust everyone's read the prospectus. Mm-hmm. Lance, why don't you take us through it?
Let's get into the prospectus.
Okay.
I am genius.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
All right, Kyle T. Mosley back with Coach Johnny Cole. Coach Cole, how you doing, man? I know you've been working, you've been refereeing. Now you're going to referee some fighting going on. Much better than what we saw with Mike Tyson, huh?
Well, yeah, it was a brawl. It was a couple of brawls, man, that should have happened.
Shouldn't have that happen, right? We're going to talk about that.
It all starts from the top,
Uh-oh. All right, here we're about to go into it, Coach. Stewart, you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. So Coach Cole and Coach Stewart, this past week has been tumultuous in HBCU football because we've had some post-game brawls that went down, 2 in the SWAC, 1 in the MEAC, and 1 at the CIAA championship game, which was very surprising. But Coach Cole, you had some interesting thoughts about that. Share it with the listeners and watchers.
Well, first of all, everything always starts from the top. In some of these schools with these programs, I think every coach on the coaching staff, whether it's 9 or 6 on the Division II, should at least, the bottom man should be at least making what a teacher makes, because that's what he does. Okay. So because when you can't qualify and get and pay coaches, you get what you pay for. You got some coaches making $10,000. You got some ain't making nothing. So that's what you get when you can only on some of these staff. Look at Clark. For instance, I could talk about Teddy Keaton. They only got four full-time coaches that's there during the day. Then the rest of the guys come over in the afternoon. So you really picking up guys. It also hurts the quality of football. All right. So we start from up top. These schools should be able to pay these coaches full-time money so you can go out and get quality guys. Second is the referee. That's why I got my shirt on. Our referees in our conference, in Black College Conference, they got to be more aware of the rules and call it like they see it, instead of not. I was at the SIAC game. The guy kept on hitting the quarterback after the play. Hey, man, the rule says they protect the quarterback. Once the ball is released, he should not touch the quarterback. He should not use any violent move. Even if he was about to hit him, he's got to throw his hand. I seen a kid just shove the guy on the ground. All right. But you can't. Now let's go talk about these coaches that we have. Mm-hmm. And these young guys that we're getting on these coaching staff. It done went to gang-like. You know what I mean? We are 20% of America is educated in the college realm. That's where we are. These are supposed to be the best students, the best black men or young black men that's coming up. Some of us, like myself, was running from the street. You know what I'm saying? Running from low-income homes to get in college to make some of ourselves. And now we're in college, we're supposed to be the example. What we are now, it's gang-like. And I know this for a fact. My 40 years of being involved with coaching, now that I'm on the referee side, what happens and how these kids, it boils over is when coaches, mainly young coaches, get involved with trash talking with the players. When that happens, the guardrails go off. You got coaches out there getting slammed. You got coaches slamming players. That is uncalled for.
So you believe it starts with the head coaches and some of the assistant coaches kind of adding fuel to the fire when it comes to the talk and the trash talk.
It always starts there. And that's why we're talking about, older guy can relay the information down to the young guy. When I was a young guy on the staff, and I've talked to 35 coaches today, and right now all of them have agreed with me that you got to tell them young guys, shut the hell up. Hey, man, you ain't been through the far. You know what I'm saying? Either coach your position or do what you told. Don't get involved. You're not a player anymore. I can remember a time, and I know we don't have that much time, but that when I was a young coach and I went back to the dormitory because I was still staying in the dormitory, I had the music blasted. My coach actually came down to the dorm. He didn't know whose room it was. He knocked over his mind. He wore me out. He said, you make a decision or don't come back to that office. Either you're going to be one of them or you're going to be a coach. And I had to separate myself from them because I wanted to be a coach and I understood. It's about being a professional. And we got to be better. We got to stop because we supposed to be the example to the rest of the world. Okay. And they understand you're representing your community, the way you come from, your family, the university, yourself, and most of all, you represent Black folks from all over the world. They already think and think that, back in the day, they used to call us the chitlin circuit.
The chitlin
now,
circuit.
Right. We got away from that. We've gotten away from that, but we headed right back to that. So it's disgusting.
Let's do a little timeout. Let me ask your opinion, Coach Steward. Coach Cole was pretty much breaking down that it's really starts from the top down. The coaches are responsible for their programs and responsible for how the young men interact on the field with the trash talking, the fighting, and everything else. What's your thoughts?
He's exactly right. I hadn't done it as long as Coach Cole and the rest of the legendary coaches, but out of my 20 years of coaching big-time high school football, I never had a brawl. And if you feel like your players are not going to listen, then you have to have a disciplinary disciplinary plan in place to discipline these guys, or do what we call through a pre-walkthrough. Have your team be the visiting team on their Friday practices and just say, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go straight to the dressing room, give a fist bump, go straight to the dressing room. Prime example, big game this weekend between Alcorn and Jackson State, the Soul Bowl. Coach Taylor, I'm sure he's going to have his guys give a fist bump and go straight to the dressing room because it's a big-time rivalry game. Coach Cole is right. I don't know where these brawls are coming from. It looks like it's a habit. But what I want to tell, our listeners is, guys, you're hurting recruiting. You're hurting your recruiting process. You get a 4-5-star kid come to your campus and the parents ask the head coach, well, coach, I don't want my son. What's going on? Look at this. Tell me about this brawl. Well, how you going to explain it? So I want to just let, the guys know that, man, you're hurting recruiting. That's all it is. I don't know. I hope it's not a head coach and an assistant's egging stuff on. I just hope it's not. But if it is, Kyle, we're in trouble.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach Cole. Let me just turn to Coach Cole again. You've been on the sideline recently. You, like you said, at the SIAC championship, and you also brought up you heard some pre-game problems that were going to occur at the CIAA, right?
Yeah.
So
no, the SIAC.
Oh, at the S. Okay, so talk about that. How did Coach Keaton and Coach Shea get that under control?
Well, let me just go back. What happened a couple years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, Winston-Salem was playing, I want to say, I'm just going to be safe, one of the Virginia teams. And they were having a banquet the day before. And the quarterback, which is my godson, his father was my college roommate, he went in the restroom to use the restroom. And 5 of the Virginia players jumped on him. And they ended up counseling the whole game. Now, the same thing kind of happened this past week on the banquet, that the players start jaw-jacking, and we don't have no people to calm them down. So that's what made Coach Keaton and Coach Cole and Coach Sham say that the coaches went out and shook hands and sent both teams to the locker room. I thought that was real classy, but it should never be that way. And like Coach said, all my teams, it's never been that way, because it ain't that way when the players gotta have some fear. It's just like raising a kid. A kid got to, I ain't saying they gotta be scared of you, but they got to fear you in some type of way. And sometimes the fear is respect.
Well, I'm gonna say this, but Coach, if you look at some of these brawls, even when the coaches went up to the young men to try to calm them down or send them to the side, I saw them pushing the coaches out the way. They were pushing them out the way. They were like, get off the way. One young man nearly knocked the coach in the face with his elbow. I mean, what do you do as a assistant coach when you're trying to help out? And these guys are not even listening to the head coach. I saw Larry Scott at Howard. He was trying to get his guys under control.
Like I said, it started from the top.
Well,
and like Coach Steward was saying about practicing and setting boundaries in practice and setting boundaries to lead in that way and make them understand that, look, I'm not taking that. See, what happens, Cal, is all this transfer stuff is starting to be able to hire soft coaches. And I'm gonna call them soft, because if you look at all the championship guys in the last 24 years on each level, whether it was the NFL with Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer and Parcells and Belichick, whether it's Nick Saban, L.C. Cole, Doug Williams, Broadway, whether those coaches ain't around no more, because the presidents want to come downstairs and be seen. The athletic directors want to act like general managers per se and want to come in the locker room and tell you this, and they hiring guys that they can do that. That's why Jimmy Johnson left the Cowboys. He asked Jerry, let me handle the team. You handle that part of it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you get. You're not getting strong, direct coaches anymore. You know, those guys is almost. And I told you, Coach Steward, and you're training the last 24 years, Coach Steward, in the SWAC conference, maybe 2 or 3 other coaches are still in coaching. Still in coaching. Not at another position. They ain't even on the sidelines. So how can our young and our guys come through? Because it's very important that we teach the young guys the trend. How can they learn? And so it makes our football look bad, and it's a disrepresentative of who we are as Black folks.
Yeah. Coach Stewart?
Yeah, Kyle, I wanted to piggyback out what you just said. And Eddie Robb used to tell me all the time, don't ever forget to go over your orientation process. That's when you talk about the policy and procedures of the university, the NCAA rules when you talk about fighting another team. You go over all these things in 2 days, but you also piggyback on your rival games off of it on your Fridays when you get into the hotel or when you go to the local high schools and do a walkthrough or wherever you do your walkthroughs at. Let your players know, hey, man, we're going into this game. We're going to win it. But you got to keep in mind, we can't let penalties. We can't do nothing stupid. And I got to agree with Coach Cole. It's coaching. You're supposed to know these things going into the head coaching position. And right now, with all these brawls, something is seriously going on.
Can I add something too, Coach? Here's another example. And I did this to follow John when I got to Lane. Lane was 0-100 when I got there. Kids fighting and everything else. So what I done was I said, okay, we're not gonna wear warm-up suits when we travel. We're gonna wear your own clothes, and then when we get to the hotel, we'll put the warm-up suit on. Because here's what kids do. You put them in the warm-ups, they'll wear those warm-ups the whole damn weekend. From Friday to dinner to going to the game to getting out to the game. When I seen that, I put those kids in collar shirts and pants and belts on and these flip-flops, house shoes, all that. None of that, Coach. None. When we go on trips or road trips or it's about business.
It's a business trip.
It's
right?
business. I'm preparing these kids so when they graduate from college, they can move on to be CEOs. That's the teaching that and that's the teaching that these kids should get. We and when I say we, me and my brother, when we were together at teams, we just didn't have it, Coach. You know what's happening? The prisoners are running the prison. Oh. And it's even throughout public schools. You know, everybody is catering to the kid. And I just disagree with it. I'm in teaching now. You know what I mean? You got to meet the kid right. You got to. No. Here's the rule. We got to go by the rule.
Yeah. Let's pick this back up in a minute. You guys bring up some valid points. And when you talk about the young people of today, you also have to talk about the parents as well. And unfortunately, the guardians as well. So there's a lot of different elements to this whole thing. I would say more layers to this thing. I am Kyle T. Mosley, HBCU Legends. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
November is American Diabetes Month. And while nearly half of us have diabetes or prediabetes, every story is personal. There are stories of strength.
Every day is different. Not one day is the same.
Hard work.
No es tenerle miedo realmente a la enfermedad. Es saber cómo combatir la enfermedad.
And heartbreak.
When she passed away, it was because of diabetes.
But no matter your diabetes story, we fight for you and to find a cure. Join us at diabetes.org.
To the inconsiderate monster who has been stealing my pudding, I hope your conscience eats at you as you have eaten my pudding. Bring my pudding back. I wish you the worst, Dale.
Beautiful words. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I am genius.
Come to McDonald's and treat yourself to the Grandma McFlurry today.
So I trust everyone's read the prospectus. Lance, why don't you take us through it?
Let's get into the prospectus.
Okay.
I am genius.
Okay, Kyle T. Mosley here with Coach Johnnie Cole and Coach Darryl Steward. I got my guys on the line. We talk about a serious subject, though. We talk about how to be able to get this under control, or some ideas, at least, how to get this under control with the fighting that has been existing. The brawls has given HBCU football, in a lot of ways, a black eye. Now, I look at it from a media standpoint. You don't want negativity out there about what's happening with HBCU sports, because then there's these network deals that are coming up. You have the ESPN deal with the SWAC that's coming up. You have the other deals with HBCU Go, as well as HBCU Plus. They're getting into some deals as well. So how's that going to affect the colleges as well? But more so, when I taught at Hope Academy in Houston, Texas, my pastor, DZ Cofield, said, Dr. Cofield said this. He said, we are not teaching just regular kids. We're teaching industrial strength kids nowadays. And that means they're from the different element from the street and what have you. So you got to handle them differently, and you got to be able to understand them. But to understand those kids sometimes, Coach, and I'm going to throw this to Coach Stewart first, Coach Cole. Coach Stewart, to understand these kids, you've got to be able to do what? Let me ask you that. Do what?
Well, you got to be able to give them a self-assessment of themselves. You know, that's for the head coach to do when you go in and on a recruiting visit. You want to get to know the kid and what's his strength, what's his weakness, what he likes, what's his dislikes, what's his major, because, you got to realize, yeah, we want these kids to go to the next level, but they're coming to college to get a degree in education. And so I just think, but here's the thing, Kyle. All of that falls under coaching, the learning process. When you find out all these brawls are going on, when you bring these head coaches to discipline, you find out that some of them don't even know the process.
What do you mean?
You don't know the process.
What process? What process we talked about, Coach?
Simply as what we talk about with the brawls. Now, I know people are tooting his horn right now, but I want to say this. South Carolina State hadn't went through a brawl the whole year. You got to know that Cheney Berry has went through the process.
Okay. All right.
I can name you several other teams as well.
Okay. Coach Cole, let me turn it to you. What do they have to do to be able to stop this?
Here's the deal, Coach. Playing football on a football team and representing a brand is a privilege. All right. It ain't like you got to take English, math. It's a privilege to be on there to put that helmet on, first of all. Second of all, any job that you have, there's rules and regulations that you got to go by to be on. Here's the problem. When you hire coaches that don't understand the process of that your job is not only to coach these kids on the field, it's to get these kids to graduation and so they can leave your university and be better. because these are the better kids. They've chose to do better for their life. So they deserve to be coached. Thirdly, the game is a team sport. I ain't never seen any one player win a damn Super Bowl or NCAA title or a SWAC title. It's 10 other kids out there. You see what I'm saying? So when a coach make it about one player or about two players instead of making it about the team, see, Mosey, I coach from the front of the line. What do you mean by that? The guy in the back line don't barely hear from me because I feel when I tell them to line up, when you tell your players to line up, usually the best player jump up first. That's the guy who I'm coaching. I'm not on the back coach and then letting the front guy do what he want, wear the socks he want, wear the color of the shoe he want, just because he's the guy. And then I negotiate and he'll go in the locker room and come out with purple socks while the other team got white socks. Guess what? His ass will be sit back to that locker room and maybe not even play. Here's my thing. And that's why, Mosey, I could sit here today, even though, how I got out of the business, I still don't agree with it. I could sit here today and say, I did it my way. If I lost the game, it was because of Johnnie Cole. It wasn't because of my players wasn't ready. That's my fault. It wasn't because my players were out there fighting. That doesn't mean I didn't do something right. So I always let my players and coaches, and that's the part. You got these young coaches coming in, man, with all this dreads, shirt out their pants, jewelry all on their neck on the sideline, unprofessional, talking just as much as trash as the players. I wish I would have a guy on my staff that does that.
Well, hold on, Coach. You mean some of the coaches, assistant coaches having jewelry and dread?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Coaches, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I know I'm gonna get what your dreads got to do with it. Well, guys, look, there's only one Snoop Doggy Dogg. And there's only one Snoop that can smoke a cigar and show up. Snoop Doggy Dogg is not the black representative. He's not. He's only one of him. I love his music. I look, but that's all what the media show us, Stewart, and our kids. They think that's the example. That ain't the example. Snoop is not the example. All the rappers, they're not the example.
Yeah.
Guys, when you come to college, you're the exception. And that's what we got to get over to these kids. So when they leave, they're ready to move on and go back to their communities and let their communities know that there's some regular guys who ain't got to sing, who ain't got to rap, who ain't got to smoke a joint that can make it in this life.
All right. Coach, your thoughts about the coaches being the example?
Well, in some programs they are, in some they're not. But it all goes back to the process, Kyle. We can't hold these coaches accountable if they don't know the process. And so
the coaches don't know the process. You're saying the coaches, okay.
Right. I mean, it goes all the way up to the presidents and the athletic directors in this case.
They do
now what's happening is the fans are starting to say, well, we didn't know from an alumni standpoint, a lot of the alums are starting to say they didn't even know that, presidents, athletic directors had not been doing interviews, and this is going to be a problem for the process coming on in the near future. I don't think that they're going to skip this process now. I think by looking at these brawls, I think the presidents are going to form committees, and you're looking at when it's time to interview a coach, you're probably looking at bringing 2 coaches in a day, whether you're going to interview 4 or 5 of your top coaches, and go from there. But I don't think it'll be a quick fix thing. What's been happening in the past. I think right now they're learning their lesson from this, and they're going to get it right, Kyle.
Okay. Coach Cole, last thoughts on this topic before we start talking about the championships ahead?
Well, this resumes count.
Resumes count. Say that again, Coach.
Resumes count. And see these things behind me, behind my show.
Reign championships.
That means that you've been to the top. You know how to get to the top. Not even if you want me as your coach or so. There's some guys that's been winning coaches. Yeah, is there room? Yes, there's room. There's room to develop, and we got to not only develop our guys to be head coaches at black schools. We got to develop them to move on. You know what I mean? And it gives us such a black eye, man. And it's already rough on us. You know, we forgot about the struggle. See, we feel we feel like now that we've made it. You know, these kids feel like, oh, well, let's not talk about slavery. Let's not talk about. They understand that people died for us to be here. You know what I mean? And we were successful. We averaged larger crowds than we did then than we do now. You know, these black kids now think, oh, this just started. Man, this has been going on. You know, and so I just think that when you coach a group of guys, and I'll give you an example, the Army and the Navy. When have the Army and the Navy been in the top 20? And they got the worst players, but they got the most disciplined and they academically strong.
And they work as a team.
And they win it. And they work as a team and they win it.
That's right.
That's my answer. I'm done with. That's my answer. You know what I mean? Okay. They win. You'll win championship if you get disciplined always from the coaches to the manager, the trainer, and even the person to clean the damn field house up.
Definitely. All right, guys, we will be back, and then we're going to talk about what's happening in the SWAC championship and who's going to win and who's going to go on to the Celebration Bowl to meet South Carolina State.
Wow. Hey, Jay, this project might need a bit of zhuzhing. Holla back, Warren.
Please let me know your thoughts. Best regards, Warren.
I am genius.
So, what did you think of the pitch I emailed you?
Yes, the one that you emailed me. I remember. The pitch of Dog Days. What a title. Here we are. Very Victorian, which I loved. Unique relationship is formed. I love unique relationships.
With a twist.
I know, because I read it.
Great. I'm going to tell them you're interested.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Something amazing is happening here. The next era of AI has arrived. CDW data engineers are helping organizations harness the power of AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. The power to run workloads faster means greater performance, giving your team a better shot at success. Make amazing happen. CDW.
All right, guys, Kyle T. Mosley with Coach Johnnie Cole and Coach Darryl Steward on the line. Let's talk about what's going down. Before we do that, I would like to just play a quick snippet of an interview that we got from our guys at Urban Sports Scene. Ray Rogers and those guys were there when when Chennis Berry was able to win the championship. Take a look.
Urban Sports Scene here with MEAC championship coach Chennis Berry. South Carolina State defeats Morgan State 54-7. And with a backup quarterback, when you took this job, coach, is this what you envisioned?
Well, you know, we always believe, man. To God be the glory, first of all, man. We found a way to win a football game. Winning is hard. So, you know, but our young men were prepared, man, and our coaches prepared them to put them in a position to be successful. So all in all, I'm just super proud of our team and our program right now. You know, when I first took the job back in January, I had to get guys to buy in and believe in the process of what we're all about. And our process is real simple. Just try to go 1-0 every day. And I think our young men have wholeheartedly believe in that. And we found a way to go 1-0 today, man. So the journey's not over yet, though. We have another game to play. And we have senior day next week for our seniors, their last home game. And we want them to go out the right way. So the mission doesn't change, man. We got 24 hours to enjoy this victory. And then we'll get ready for a good Norfolk State University football team.
Yeah. All right. That's your guy there, Coach Chennis Berry. He did it. He went ahead and he won in his first season at South Carolina State, but he's not a rookie head coach. People keep on forgetting that. You know, he won 2 Division II national championships down there in Benedict, but he also, Coach Stewart, as well as Coach Cole, he was about the process. You heard him just talk about that. Talk about that. What do you think, Coach Cole?
Well, you know, Chennis also was an O-line coach at Southern and offensive coordinator there. He worked at Grambling. So he's been around. Me and Chennis spent a summer with the Chicago Bears. We were roommates, you know, and he had that type of mentality. So I knew anything he had touched was great. You know, I just wish that my school would have reached out to me, which is Texas Southern University, when we were searching for a coach, to say, I would have put my finger on it right then and there. We don't need to talk to nobody. We need to start negotiating a contract with that guy. So it doesn't surprise me that where he's at, when you look at that league, you got Delaware with a young coach. I thought that Coach Odom would do better at Norfolk, but this is 4th year. He fell off. You know what I'm saying? And then you got North Carolina Central, Trey Oliver, you know, who's right now, to me, is the best black coach if you rated him in black college football. And, you know, Chennis was able to get by him. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that Chennis Berry is successful. And let me say this, he will be successful everywhere he go. White, black, PWI, it don't matter.
Yeah. Let's hear from Coach Graves.
It's a blessing, and it shows that if you stay faithful, you trust and believe, he'll work it out for you. And then it just says 32 years, and I've heard all the you know, oh, well, you know, he don't have any experience, and all his experiences at HBCUs, or he's not a celebrity, he's not this, he's not that. I'm a football coach, and I'm a winning football coach. And I said that, and I stand on that.
All right. Coach Graves say he's a football coach, he's a winning football coach, and he stands on that, Coach Stewart. And you're down there in Baton Rouge. Talk about that right quick.
Hey, man, I'm so proud of Coach Graves because, you know, to wait 32 years for your dream job like that takes a strong mental process to do. You know, some of us don't have that long, but he did. And man, you know, just you know, what he's done at Southern in year 1, man. You know, a lot of people wasn't happy about the hire, but he proved them wrong, like he said. And Kyle, you got to understand this, man. One thing about the reason I give Coach Graves a lot of credit is because he's going through 3 quarterbacks, and he's finding a way to win week in and week out. He's finding a way to win, and like I said, you know, one thing about Southern, Jackson, Florida, and them in Grambling, they're not going to lower that process for anybody. You know, these are blue blood programs. If you don't come in winning, you could get fired. And so for him to respond like that in 32 years, man, I give him all the praise and the glory, you know, and I wish him the best going in. But of course, you know, I'm rooting for the Tigers. The job that T.C. Taylor has done is a phenomenal man going behind Deion Sanders. And I think he deserves Coach of the Year because you got to realize T.C. Taylor lost his whole team, man. And to go in there and win like that is unbelievable. So got two head coaches going into the game. That's well deserved, Kyle.
Okay, let's take a look at their celebration at Jackson State.
athletic director who brought us in.
No
this
doubt.
far.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. To this amazing team, I had no doubt that you all were going to get us here, and I know where you're going to take us to as well. I'm grateful to you all, best team ever. Y'all keep doing what you do, and congratulations.
All right. That was the celebration there. Coach Cole, you've been in those locker rooms with the celebrations, and you got those rings in the background to prove it. How does it feel when you get to this point where you win the conference championship, but you got another one to be able to play for?
Well, Coach, it's a great feeling. I mean, it's one that you can't explain to somebody that ain't been there. You know what I'm saying? All the hard work, all the stuff that you go through, dealing with players, dealing with parents, dealing with administration. It's just a tough job, when you're coaching HBCU. But one thing I want you to point out, both of these two gentlemen that's playing for the SWAC championship are HBCU graduates.
That's a new point.
My man from Southern, Terrence Graves, graduated from Winston-Salem State. T.C. Taylor is a Jackson State guy. We don't have to go out and find great coaches. We don't have. They right here. Steward, they right here. We could go get some high school coaches and move them up to some coordinator positions and move them in. Man, we got to protect, guys. We got to protect the 20 black teams or the 40 black teams that we have for black college coaches. I just feel that, man. I believe you got to take care of your own because if you don't, nobody will. And I understand it's about being in the United States, man. But they protecting their jobs. You still got a football team that's 75% African American, that's led by a white guy. I'm not prejudiced. No, I'm not racist at all. But I'm a little prejudiced about my HBCU fellow men that have went through and walked those hallways and slept in them dormitories, and that looks like me. And I'm prejudiced that these jobs should be held for good HBCU coaches.
All right. Great point. Coach, you are HBCU bred yourself. Coach Stewart, Coach Cole was just saying, hey, he's an advocate. You look at everybody who's in those championship programs right now. They come from HBCUs. Talk about it.
Yeah, they just know the HBCU way. And when you know the HBCU way, it's not practicing in the morning. It's blood, sweat, and tears at 3 o'clock. Who can survive the storm? All the great ones practice at 3. You had to go through 2 days. It's just the HBCU way. And, I think these guys are benefiting from that. The standards that Coach Cole, Melvin Spears, W.C. Gore, and all these guys put in place. All you have to do is follow it. And if you follow it, you're going to win championships.
Okay. All right, Coach Cole, you first. Let's talk about the SWAC championship. How do you see it?
Well, one, if you look at the numbers, it should be a runaway with Jackson State. Averaging 400, best offense in the conference. Defense is second best in the conference. T.C. Taylor's doing a great job of calling the plays. They're scoring a lot, and we always talk about what win championships. Great defense and great running game. Jackson State got both. On the other hand, you got Southern, man, is the cardiac kids. They got a frog leg. They got a frog leg, a skunk tail, a deer sniffle, some roof, some gumbo. They win in every game by the chin of the chin, coach. And that's great. You can't take it away from the coaching staff. They fight in there. They keep their kids rolling. That's what it's all about. And they make the right mistake. They make the right choices at the right time to win these football games.
Okay. Coach Stewart, how do you see the SWAC championship?
Yeah, Kyle, first of all, I want to say congratulations to both teams. Well deserved to be in it. Coach Graves and Southern and T.C. Taylor and Jackson State. But let's just face Southern did an outstanding job putting this team in predicaments to win. The talent right now is just not there. And, football, all the great ones know football is a game of matchups. They clearly do not match up well against Jackson, but they do a great job of coaching, and that's the reason why they're in this game. And so I do think it's going to be closer than the first game, but Jackson State just has too much talent right now. I'm looking at probably a 17-10 victory at Jackson State.
Jackson State. All right, Coach Steward and Coach Cole, they predict Jackson State. I have to go along with you guys. I concur. I think Jackson State is a very talented group. I've got to say this. Congratulations not only to Coach T.C. Taylor, not only to Coach Graves, but A.D. Banks, as well as Ashley Robinson. Congratulations to you guys as athletic directors of choosing these men. And when it was very controversial to choose these men and stand by these men as well. So it was very controversial. But we'll talk next week, and then we'll go into the Bayou Classic. And after the Bayou Classic, we'll talk about what's going to happen at the Celebration Bowl. I can't wait. That's going to be a good one. And I'm going. I will be there.
I already got my ticket.
Oh, there you go. There you go, man. What you mean ticket? We gotta get you in the press box.
Well, my flight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Also, I'm going
to say, hey, you're gonna be with me in HBCU Legends, then, man.
I'm gonna be at the Bayou Classic in the Turkey Day.
Yeah,
well. I'm gonna get out of here next week.
Yeah, it's one of my first times not going back home for the Bayou Classic, and but I think that's going to be a great affair to have. I think Mickey Joseph wants to be able to go out winning and go out swinging on this one. Back home, he as well as Coach Dooley. He's a Forshey guy, Forshey High School. We used to whoop up on them. I just got to tell you that. McDonald 35, we used to whoop up on Forshey.
Forshey used to be here.
Not my years. Yeah, I'm going to hear about that from.
Just like you cheer for Morehouse, but not your years.
All the time, baby. All the time. Look, you gotta. I'll bleed the maroon. Trust on that. I just heard from Dr. Granger. Dr. Granger said there's a soccer team made the championship, the first in history for the Texas Southern. They are the champs. Congratulations to those individuals for their soccer team being the champions. All right. Coach Cole, Coach Stewart, thank you very much. Guys, follow us at HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated. So go to hbculegends.net. You can also check us out on all social media platforms at HBCU Legends, as well as you can check out Black Sports Insiders at Black Sports Inc. on Twitter, or what we call X. And we may be going over to Blue Sky with everybody else. Everybody been skying out on Twitter and going over to Blue Sky. But that should be interesting as well. Coach Cole, tell everybody how they can find you on the World Wide Web.
Well, man, Facebook, of course. My phone number, 334-318-1141.
Coach putting out his phone number, guys.
HBCU Code. On the X, Cold-Blooded 9.
Cold-Blooded.
JohnnyCole.tsu@gmail.com.
He put out his email and his phone number, and he means he's serious. You guys can contact Coach. He responds. He's not like Coach Stewart, though. I'm just clowning with you, Coach Stewart. Tell everybody how they can find you, Coach.
Yeah, all you got to do is get in contact with my agent, Kyle T. Mosley, first, and then you can. But all serious aside, you can contact me at Tycoon League 2 at
See, Tycoon League. Oh, hold on. You heard what they say, Tycoon League. So that means he making some bank. He don't want to share none with me, but that's okay, Coach.
Also on HBCU Legends podcast with the great Kyle T. Mosley.
Oh my goodness. All right. I did pay him for that one. But guys, go ahead and just Look.
Oh, I forgot too, Cal. Check me on YouTube, HBCU Go Coaches Corner, and also the lunch break as well.
Yeah, the lunch break, and you and Rocky, you guys do a great job with your stroll as well.
HBCU Coaches Corner.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm Kyle T. Mosley. That's Coach Johnnie Cole and Coach Darryl Steward. We out. Peace. Take care.